again, welcome. And why did I call distinguished roundtable? It is a distinguished one because it brings together university rectors and city measures to reflect on the legacy and future potential of the Poitiers Declaration. This initiative is rooted in a collaborative framework between Coimbra Group universities and their respective municipalities, aimed to advancing a shared set of objectives for the coming years. In many respects, the Poitiers Declaration has anticipated key aspects, key developments in the European Union. Just think about the European Commission recommendation in March 2024. It talks about citizen engagement for knowledge valorization. What does it mean? That you need an array of stakeholders based on universities and municipalities. So it seems really that the Poitiers Declaration anticipated many, many policies today that are absolutely the way to approach the future guidelines. Today, the social responsibility of university is more important than ever, especially when exercised in close partnership with cities to stimulate innovation, to foster civic engagement and deliver meaningful impact. Over the past 4 decades, Coimbra Group proposed, based on 39 universities that are in 22 European countries, and was able to critically reflect about their respective actions in university-city collaboration. That's really the main aspect of this roundtable, university-city collaboration. You can obviously imagine I am director of public engagement, how crucial it is for our activities and in general for all the 39 universities today to describe these kind of strategies. And obviously, just because the Poitiers Declaration was signed in 2016 by the then mayor and rector of Poitiers, I think that it is therefore fitting that we begin with the current deputy mayor of Poitiers, Zoé Leroy-Chevalier, who is the responsible for international and European cooperation. Is it true? Yeah, thank you. And then I would like to ask you, in your view, which sector currently best exemplifies how the city of Poitiers serves as a catalyst of the growth and development of the University of Poitiers? If you just can tell us an example, a way to do that in a good way. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So, honorable mayors from across Europe now. Dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to speak to you today as a city councillor of Poitiers about the essential partnership between the city and the university. This partnership is not only traditional, it's a forward-looking collaboration focused on building strong, inclusive and sustainable society and city. So how does Poitiers serve as a catalyst for the university growth and increasing social impact? First, through a close cooperation and a shared vision. I mean, the city and the university are not really separate entities. We work together on education, innovation, citizenship, social cohesion, and environmental transition. Our commitment is rooted in a building of a more resilient and sustainable future. One powerful example is the link between research, publication, and public policies. Take the challenge of urban health islands. University researchers and municipal teams collaborate to find practical and science-driven solutions. Together, we design strategies that improve the daily lives of residents while addressing our long-term environmental goals. Since 2020, Grand Poitiers has co-funded over 30 PhD theses. One of them, focused on the green and blue infrastructure, led the groundwork for further projects supported by the University of Poitiers Foundation and the Biodiversity Share. Its author, Elie Morin, went on to create a startup, which is called Pictamap, supported by Neology and an innovation grant from Grand Poitiers. Pictamap now works with the city to develop urban planning tools, including for the local urban plan, integrating biodiversity preservation and soil regeneration into our territory planning. This cooperation is structured and reinforced by our local strategy of higher education, research and innovation, the SLESRI, which ensures that public policies and academic work move forward together in a coherent and ambitious way. So encouraging students to stay after their study is a priority. That's why we invest in research, support startup development, and foster innovation locally, all while encouraging these efforts in our territory's sustainable growth. But our commitment is also human and social. We want students to feel part of the city. Every year, Poitiers organizes a student welcome month with cultural and civic events that foster belonging and inclusion. Mobility and housing are also key issues. With the Cap Vélo Campus program, we provide 300 bicycle free of charge to students, a social and at the same time ecological solution that supports sustainable mobility for all and most of all for students. Poitiers is also a city of solidarity. So through the local here students from elsewhere project, we promote meaningful exchange between international students and local residents, encouraging intercultural dialogue and hospitality. Social impact is not just a slogan for us, it is a responsibility. We believe that inclusion, solidarity, and sustainability are the foundation of our city's growth. By truly welcoming students, a city builds a better society today and for tomorrow. So, in conclusion, a university thrives when it is deeply rooted in its city, and a city becomes stronger when it supports its academic community. In Poitiers, we invest not only in infrastructures, but above all in people. So in talent, diversity, collective intelligence, and a shared future. Together, the city and the university are shaping more than degrees. We are shaping the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your insightful perspective, because to hear about knowledge sharing in the sense that research papers become public policies and vice versa is really maybe what we need. So there is a really exchange between the knowledge and the research that is a new knowledge, nothing else. So now we can turn to the role of universities, and I have a shared question for Ludovic Tilly, Vice Rector of European Strategy at the University of Poitiers, so he can, if you want, answer directly to this topic, and then it's an honor again to ask the same question, I will tell you in a while, to Pedro Mercado, the Rector of University of Granada. Next year we will be all together in Granada in 2026. So the question is mainly about it is about when and how your universities implement joint strategies with the respective municipalities aimed at increasing the social impact. And if you have one example, if you have a method or something like that. Okay, thank you. Ludovic, yes, you can start.
Thank you so much, and indeed it's not only an honor, but I'm very pleased that we can also exemplify that the Poitiers municipality and Poitiers University are really working hand in hand, and it's really genuine and authentic cooperation, and I hope this will be felt by the audience. Just before, if you would allow me, I would maybe just take 1 or 2 seconds, a bit more actually, on making a Coimbra Group reflection. We heard yesterday in the session around the first event of this year in Durham that Coimbra Group universities are training every year more than 1.2 million students. I would like also to mention that if we look now at the local ecosystems, the 39 universities, I didn't do the full counting, but I think that the 39 universities have probably a direct reach to several tens of millions of citizens. So I think we should all be aware of this. We have already today a major societal impact. We just have maybe to realize it, and that's already there. I will just stop this Coimbra Group perspective. To go back on the Poitiers case, if I may say, well, as Zoe was saying, it's not just by chance that we proposed to the Coimbra Group to have this Poitiers Declaration in 2016, because that's indeed a long tradition of cooperation, which I should say now goes even to the point that the municipality is a member of our Alliance of European Universities, EC2U. So that's maybe later today we'll have some points around this at the open session. You wanted to see an example, and I would like actually to take the same example as I used in the Durham Climate Symposium, where I presented, together with our mayor who was with us, our strategic plan for sustainable development. But could I say that the full name is actually the strategic plan for sustainable development and social responsibility? Because for us in Poitiers, and I know this is the case for many Coimbra Group universities, sustainable development cannot go without social development and just development. And I think it's also very nicely linked with the previous presentation from Kumkum. In our case, this strategic plan, the very first version was initiated in 2010. At that time, we were actually the first French university to get the official label for sustainable development and social responsibility. And now we are in the third round of this strategic plan, which has been now voted this year for the next 5 years. And every strategic axis, there are 6 of them, all of them have actually actions together with the municipality. Which means that what Zoe has said about the strategic plan for higher education that the Poitiers municipality has designed was including the university, we have the exact mirror for our own strategic plan with our actions including the municipality the same. Around these 6 priority axes, we have one, the 6th one, which is fully devoted to social policies. Again, it's a sustainability and social plan. And I think this is very important. Most of these axes, I said, embed a social dimension, which is in cooperation with the municipality. And I would just take 3 examples, but actually it's a plan with almost 200 actions. We have one around decarbonization, where actually we develop with municipality some territorial solutions for greener transportation. And indeed, all of our universities are so intertwined into the local geography that indeed we cannot develop our own transportation plan without the municipality. So that's one example, and it will benefit the campuses, the staff, the students, and the citizens at the end of the day. The second one is we want also to foster recycling. So we are designing a recycling center that is developed with citizens associations. Yeah. So again, the link is very strong. And the third example is that we want our fully inclusive university, where we want to include all profiles of students, including the refugees. And there again, we have what Zoe said, it's a solidarity municipality. So again, we cannot design a fully inclusive university if the city itself is not taking responsibility for the housing, for welcoming the refugees, and so on. So yeah, again, these are just very simple examples that in our everyday life, there is not a single day where my rector or all the president's team is not talking to the municipality. I will stop here.
Yes, very simple but very impactful. Maybe we understand why the Poitiers Declaration was signed in Poitiers. Yeah, maybe it's very clear. Yeah? There is a very strong reason. And so the same I can ask to Pedro Mercado. It's about again this kind of possible collaboration you can have in Granada. Thank you.
Thank you so much. First, it's a pleasure and an honor to be here in Bologna. Congratulations to University of Bologna and Coimbra Group for this conference. At the University of Granada, we strongly believe that in the transformative power of collaboration between the university and city itself. In line with the Poitiers Declaration, we don't simply see ourselves as a center of knowledge, academic center. We are a civic institution deeply connected to the life of our city. And yes, we implement joint strategies with our local authorities to foster citizen engagement and public participation. We believe that the universities and cities must co-create the future through shared governance and meaningful social innovation. Let me give you some concrete examples. One of the most ambitious strategies is Impronta Granada. What's Impronta Granada? It's an alliance between the university, the provincial council, and the city of Granada. The initiative connects over 1,400 researchers and over 500 research groups with local communities across the region. Through regional councils, we work together to co-design solutions to local challenges, particularly those linked to urban agendas.
Yeah.
We focus on several key areas, including sustainable agriculture, digital inclusion, or energy efficiency. This project shows how we translate research into real-world impact, as called for in Poitiers Declaration. Beyond Impronta Granada, the University of Granada is a long-standing partner of some of our city's most important institutions and is involved in the main strategic project of the city and the region. For instance, regarding technology, we can highlight, for example, the Health Science Technology Park. It's a major innovation ecosystem dedicated to biomedical research, healthcare, education, and business. And at the same time, we promote the Artificial Intelligence Foundation that is supported by the University of Granada and aim to drive local and regional development in this field. Or for example, the IFMI Donors Consortium. This project is part of the European roadmap to fission energy and focuses on testing and validating materials that will be used in the future fusion reactors. We provide from the university the scientific support and train the scientific and technical staff for the important and strategic project. And in the cultural context, we can highlight another initiative. For example, our collaboration with the Parque de las Ciencias, Science Museum, Regional Science Museum, the university contribute with exhibition, public outreach, or the collaboration with the International Festival of Music of Dance that we organize as university, the educational branch of the festival, providing high life training level in music and the performing arts. Finally, I like to mention our support for Granada's candidacy to become a European Capital of Culture in 2031. Our university plays a vital role in Granada's bid through research, cultural events, and our international network. In fact, our participation ensures that Granada candidacy is grounded in education, innovation, and heritage. Through these examples, this effort, we wish to reaffirm a core belief. Universities are not ivory towers. We are designing an agenda that connects research and technology with regional development. Our main challenge is to offer socially meaningful knowledge, connected to the needs of our community, from the labs to the people. And so we believe that it's time to take the Poitiers Declaration one step further. We must take full responsibility for driving change in our communities through transformative knowledge. We are and want to be a citizen university, because our university is not just in Granada. We are Granada.
Thank you so much, really. I really appreciate the word translate. So we need to translate research into social innovation, technological innovation, so that's exactly what we have to do. And about the societal impact that Ludovic Tilly was able to tell us about the huge number, I think the Coimbra Group can improve the communication of this societal impact. Otherwise, no one matters about that. So a great goal for the future may be to communicate this one. Yeah. So now the dialogue between municipality and university goes to Turku. And so I asked to the mayor of Turku, Minna Arve, something about a vision, about some particular innovation strategies or some project that was co-design. The co in front of design is so hard sometimes, because co means exactly to work together. But you have an idea about the a collaboration between the municipality and the University of Turku, where you can say that, yes, it is co-design for the development of the local community.
Hello everyone, dear colleagues, dear friends. It's an honor to be here in the presence of colleagues and representatives of the cities and universities who kind of understand and share something very essential and common. The university that has helped us shape our identity, our thoughts, and our future. In Turku, which is the oldest city in Finland, we have been long ago ended thinking about our universities as an educational institutes, but more like a strategic partners in building a resilient, sustainable, inclusive, and climate-neutral city. I could say that our shared topics are very, very wide and they go in various themes, but I'd like to lift up our shared ambitions towards climate work. And we are going to be in Turku climate neutral city by 2029, so just in a few years, and we are rushing for it, and we are going to go there and be there, and we wouldn't be there without that we have based all our decisions and our climate plans to science. And we wouldn't be there regardless of cutting emissions in, let's say, energy sector, but we need to work with our residents, our businesses, but what we have done also is that we have been working very closely and still are working with our universities. And let me take you two examples of the way we are working together. The other one is more like thematic under this climate work, and the other one is more like way of working, collaborating, and how that can end up in the better results in decision making. So climate work is not just to reduce emissions, as we all know. It's also about strengthening the biodiversity and the use of resources in globe. And what we have been now building together with the university is something called Skansi Biodiversity Park. It's actually the first biodiversity park in Europe. And this initiative was born from the shared ambition to protect urban biodiversity, climate adaptation, and citizen engagement in a rapidly developing urban district, which we consider that we also are like many of us. But it's not just a park. It's an urban living lab. At the same time, it's a co-created space where researchers, urban planners, and residents come together to test and implement nature-based solutions. Through this process, we are also learning how to nudge behavior and strengthen ecological thinking in everyday life, and it's also a recreational area for our residents. And this nudging is something really interesting. I've been looking kind of that for a couple of years now, and it's not only in this regard we are doing together with the University Department of Psychology, but we are also thinking in many aspects that what the nudging in climate work can be, how it can be, for instance, in Finland we have this very amazing model of offering free lunch in school for kids. So how the school food can be organized in that way that the first you get the salads, then you get the all kind of nature-based or vegan-based ingredients, and only in the end of the line you find the meat or protein, which is from like kind of not vegetarian-based. And also there's always every day there is a vegetarian food available. So these kind of things we are thinking a lot, but this is also what we are doing together there in Skansi Urban Diversity Park. And it's part of our wider climate work. We are one of the European Union's mission cities to be carbon neutral by 2030, and we take this commitment very seriously, and not only through the technology and investments, but by weaving sustainability into how we plan, how we govern, how we co-create the city together, for instance, with our strategic partners like university. Secondly, another example of our collaboration is something called Urban Research Program, and that's jointly developed with the city of Turku, with the University of Turku, and also our Swedish-speaking university, Åbo Akademi, which is the other university in Turku. And it combines academic insight with real urban challenges, which are derived from our mayoral program. We co-create together with the parties in City Council something we are calling mayoral program for third term, and the teams are coming from that to the research, and focusing on the areas like regional vitality, climate action, housing, as well as segregation. And this program enables something we need more than ever in the face of global uncertainty, science-based policymaking in local level and in real life. So basically, teams are coming from the real need, researchers are doing the research, and then they are popularizing their results in a way that results can be used in the decision making. So this is something I think really helps us to make a lot of better decisions in the city level. And what we are doing, maybe local in Turku, but in scale of global ambition, that's how we can then find that to be delivered everywhere else as well. Because however climate change is happening, it's happening locally. Adaptation happens locally, and so must the solutions to be found locally, and then they can be scaled again. So let me just end by saying that cities like ours, having history of rich history powered by knowledge, have a special responsibility. We must not only be guardians of heritage, but forerunners of change. And we cannot do this without our universities. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Very inspiring. Thank you. So now I think that to the municipality of Turku we can answer with our guest, that is Mario Kartinen, the rector of University of Turku. And my curiosity is about what has been the impact of university-city collaboration on the academic community in terms of research, education, and why not public engagement. So it's quite to say what is going to happen inside the University of Turku. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's really great to be here, so thank you for the invitation. As we heard from Inarve, we hear better now, hopefully. So as we heard, we've worked together with the city of Turku since the foundation of our university a long time ago. And cooperation is university-wide. It includes all of our 8 faculties, and of course also the university central administration. In 2022, we finally signed an official agreement for a strategic partnership with the city, aiming to even further deepen the cooperation and together develop the intellectual capital and competitiveness of the region. And of course, for us within the university, this gives us a very firm basis to work on. So the meaning of that, of these signatures is great. So if we think about the field of teaching and we come to students, this can include almost anything. For example, guest lectures and very close cooperation and dialogue in our curriculum development. And this is always very, very important. And collaboration would also provide students with perspectives and real-life cases in courses with real people, research topics for theses and dissertations, important networking opportunities, and this in overall it improves their employment opportunities. A great example of this kind of cooperation is our agreement with the Turku City Museum Center, and this collaboration includes, for example, the right to use the museum center's facilities for teaching and guest lectures, and of course their collections. Very important resource for students and scholars alike. The mayor already mentioned the Turku Urban Research Program, and I advertised that in Durham, so those of you who were there will remember that well. The program, it is very important because it supports knowledge-based development and decision-making within the whole scope of the university's knowledge base, as to say. And of course, for researchers, this program is especially important because it allows them, in the best case scenario anyway, to innovate and test even their wildest ideas that they probably would not be able to find funding for in a more traditional funding sources. So extremely important. Just an example of recently funded projects is reflection of socio-economic segregation in residential areas on the accumulation of educational risks and people's life courses. And this project is conducted in the Department of Social Sciences. And another one called Just Trees, Urban Nature's Multi-Species Well-Being, Sufficiency and Accessibility in a Densifying Urban Fabric. And this project is at the Department of Geography and the Biodiversity Unit. So this, of course, increases the possibilities for our, as scholars, our societal impact on academic urban research, and of course then, naturally, provides cooperation opportunities between scholars, researchers, and the city officials. In the field of public engagement, the university recently started a university-wide citizen research panel project called Science Belongs to Everyone. And this citizen research panel brings together the needs and capabilities of researchers and citizen volunteers and acts as a platform that spans all disciplines within the university once again. For researchers, this panel provides a way to engage citizens and find broader perspectives. And for citizens, of course, it offers important and interesting ways to participate and influence into a research process and learn new skills as well. In Finland, this is a pioneering initiative. So to conclude and take the viewpoint of the scholar, once again, I think one of the important things in this kind of collaboration is the direct feedback that the scholars get, because in the traditional academic world, when peer review is the impact, not the feedback that you get, it's quite depressing and not so immediate. So in this kind of work, you get immediate response, and it makes a great difference. And it's always nice to hear, isn't it, that what you actually do, it is a way to change the world for the better. Thank you.
Well, thank you to the rector of Turku, because really it was so easy to imagine which is how great is the impact in the intercommunity and how important is that in order to follow the contemporary problems, the contemporary aspects. So thank you so much. So in this round, we started from Poitiers, where the declaration was signed, and then to Turku, where the General Assembly of the last year was hosted, passing through Granada, that's the place of the next year General Assembly. Now we are in Bologna, University of Bologna. And University of Bologna has many campuses that spread across several cities in Emilia-Romagna region, and not only, yes, but however in Emilia-Romagna regions. And so that's why we have two measures, and the first question comes to the measure of Bologna, Matteo Lepore. I would like to ask you, it seems that impact is a good word today. We are telling a lot about impact. And what do you consider, which is the most impactful impacts that you consider for the universities in the city, for our university in the city of Bologna?
A lot of young people.
Absolutely, you are completely right. Young and beautiful people going around.
Absolutely, everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you for my rector, and for you all, and welcome to Bologna. We are very happy to share the experience of our city, and it's a very long history. The identity of the city of Bologna is connected to the university, we used to say that Bologna is a city of knowledge. No? City of knowledge, as every city with a strong university, but in our case, the city of knowledge means also the vision we share for the future, and the values that are rooted in the community. And yes, the demographic dimension of the city also, the social and demographic. We change every 10 years 25% of the population because of the university and in general the arrival of many persons in the city. For what Bologna means in Italy and at international level. People decide to arrive in Bologna to study, to work, but also to take care of their rights and their freedom, I think. You know probably that Bologna is a progressive city, is a democratic city. And I think the diversity dimension is important. So with the university, we are one of the youngest city in Italy, but without the university, we are also one of the oldest one. So I think for us, the university is very important. And as a mayor, I decided to promote this idea of the city for the future of Bologna. We share also a tool, very important tool, and a foundation for urban innovation. We created some years ago the Foundation for Urban Innovation with the university. We have a scientific committee inside this foundation, and we create a strategic plan for the future of the city together with all the stakeholders. And the multi-stakeholder governance is another important thing that we share with the Chamber of Commerce, the Emilia-Romagna region, and all the private and the third sector actors. And we try to share every decision and every opportunity with the university, because as a city of knowledge, we know that we have to research and experiment the policy in the city. For a progressive city, it's so important to have a stakeholder governance for change. We need change, and we need to prepare the change. Knowledge is so important for change. We have to experiment, so also take the space to experiment, the time and the freedom to experiment in every aspect. Innovation and entrepreneurship. I think this is one of the main pillars we share with the community. The university is very important for innovation inside the private company we have. The rector could tell you with the Lamborghini, Ducati, and many brands how the industrial sector grew up with the university and thanks to the university. And this exchange for us is very important, but also the attraction of investment. In this moment, Bologna is the third European city for investment in the industrial sectors, especially manufacturing. And this is also because of the education approach we have with all the community. The cultural impact in the city is so important, not only because of the nightlife, but absolutely the nightlife is important in Bologna. But in general, all the cultural life, thanks to the people of and the community of the university. In the last years, we take care of our important symbol, the two Leaning Towers, Garisenda and Asinelli together. We share a scientific committee. We study the problem we have with one of these two towers, Garisenda Tower. And this is a very specific project for us, very important, because we have to restore and save this tower. And it's an important adventure. We are creating a digital twin of the tower, and we also experiment a new approach for cultural heritage and a medieval tower in Italy. The data center and the Technopole with Cineca and the other important actor is another important dimension, artificial intelligence and the sustainability of data center. I conclude about this, about sustainability, no? Because we, as Bologna, we are in the climate mission for neutrality to 2030, not 2050. We decide to be one of the 100 cities in Europe to this target. And the sustainability is also an industrial vision. For us, means renewable energy and not fossil fuels. And for this, we need private sector, but we need also knowledge and the knowledge of the university. And we create a committee for the climate mission with the university and with all the private sector. We sign a contract to arrive with 11 billion investment to this target together. And I think this is a very huge opportunity as investment, not only on industry, but also on university and all the knowledge the university could share. So many things, many aspects. It's not all so easy, very complicated work together, because a municipality as Bologna means 4,000 workers inside, and also the university, many people, students, professors, and other personnel. But I think the friendship we have is so important, and the journey is a very beautiful journey for the city and for the university. So I suggest for everyone to work together in every part of the world. I think for peace also of our planet and humanity, the collaboration between universities and municipality is so important, and is the moment to start from the community of cities together, university and municipality, better than states. I think for the future of our planet and humanity is so important to learn the lesson from the Cold War, that people, municipalities and university make better decisions than the politician at national and international level. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much to Matteo Lepora. In fact, in the Urban Innovation Foundation, there is a project of research that is called Civic University. So it's just a way to find some strategies to be more civic, in the sense to be more connected to the town, to the city. So now we come to Enzo Lattuca, that is the mayor of Cesena. And as you know, the last Friday of September, we have the European Research Night. In Cesena, This event that is so important in Europe is hosted in the Biblioteca Malatestiana in Cesena, that is managed by the municipality of Cesena. So it is a strong message that you give to the city and to the citizens, because they understand that the alliance between the city and the university gives value to the research, because it is also prepared with a lot of events in the school, in the city, so it's just a way to communicate the primacy of the research. What do you think about that?
Thank you for the invitation, and first of all, sorry, because I'm quite excited now and here, because in this classroom I attended my first university class 18,
so it's so nice.
18 years ago. Public law, the first matter.
Okay, yeah.
So
we appreciate this.
Half of my life.
This role, yes. So we just have a good alliance between university
yes.
and major. It's just done, yeah. Okay, thank you.
I think the alliance between the municipality of Cesena and the University of Bologna it could be considered an excellent example of institutional cooperation. It brings positive change to both the city and the social context. The European Researchers' Night at the Malatestiana Library is clear and symbolic example of this cooperation. Choosing this historic and cultural place for a science event is not a coincidence. It connects tradition and innovation. It also makes science more accessible by bringing it into a space that people already know and value. The arrival of the University of Bologna in Cesena in 1990s brought a big change on many levels. In terms of the city, it helped us to renew and regeneration abandoned areas, led to the creation of the new infrastructure and changing the city layout. In terms of society, the arrival of students, teachers and researchers made the population younger, more dynamic and more international. Cesena became a city, became more open to the world through the student exchange and research partnership. This presence built a culture of openness, where different people and ideas can meet. This is the basis of the real progress. Cultural institutions are not separated from the community. They support health systems that help the local economy, promote innovation, improve daily life, and make the city more attractive. Thanks to university, there has been growth in service, business, cultural space, job opportunities, especially in the agri-food and the technology sectors. First of all, ICT. The university succeeded because it became a natural part of the city, while also respecting and strengthening the history and the identity. In this way, it supports what we can, or we are used to call genius loci, the unique spirit of the place. We can also see good results in how scientific knowledge spreads and becomes useful for the new business ideas. This alliance helped the city face to the global challenges like integration, sustainability, and multiculturalism. Programs with school create learning paths that connect early education with university research. This helps the whole community grow culturally and inspires young people to follow careers in science. In short, the cooperation between the municipality and the university in Cesena is a great example of how to improve a city through teamwork between institutions. It shows that research does not need to stay inside university. It can become a shared resource that returns the city into a real laboratory of social and cultural innovation. In my opinion, this is the most important part. The university does not stay separate as a place of high knowledge. Instead, like Alma Mater Studiorum has done in Cesena, it chooses to take root in the local area, offering its knowledge to a living and constantly changing community. Thank you. At my university.
Thank you so much, Enzo Lattuca. Thank you. Our roundtable concludes with our rector of the University of Bologna, Giovanni Molari, and I have to tell you one thing, very small one thing. 3 years and a half ago, he asked me to work on the public engagement. I was so worried about that. Today, I thank him every day because I believe that society engagement and citizen engagement is exactly the key word for the future to have societal impact. So now I'm a little bit worried too, but today I understand that it's a very important role that we need to recover. So I would like to ask to our rector, in which way it is possible University of Bologna was able to develop, let's say better, some instruments, some projects in order to foster innovation, collaboration with local and global communities. Are there some instrument projects that are able to describe this kind of movement, let's say? Okay, thank you, Giovanni.
Thank you very much, Maria Letizia. University of Bologna firmly believes in public engagement, in scientific dissemination, in knowledge transfer. I'm really convinced that it is an important goal for our mission, for our university, because we need to communicate more externally outside of our rooms, of our buildings, of our laboratories, what we do every day inside. Working with and for society is really important to collaborate with public institutions, with an administration. I'm really very happy to have here today, and I thank them, and I thank the Mayor of Bologna and Cesena, because nicely represent our multi-campus, because the decision taken 30 years ago is to renew the first organization in the university only in Bologna, to divide it also, to have also different campuses in Romagna. And this helps us to work better on the different regions and to increase the collaboration with public institutions and private stakeholders. As Maria Letizia talked before, I have decided 3 years ago to have more than one delegate for public engagement, that is Maria Letizia, but also a delegate for business and industrial research, because we have a lot of companies, as Matteo talked before, and it is important to work together. This is a really interesting territory, because we have a strong connection between institutions, companies, local governments, and the university. And this helps us to work together, to build strategies, to organize districts, to design strategic infrastructure, as both have talked before, in the agro-food sector in Cesena, in big data in Bologna. And this work helps us very well to connect all the different aspects. To reply to the answer, and a good example is competitive calls that we have organized 2 years ago in the university to connect the researchers, with the different associations, the community, to combine the different work to founding a public engagement projects, and each year we replicate the program with a necessary combination of academics department and not academic stakeholders to increase the multidisciplinary level of our research, but also to increase our impact and for the society, involving also our students. In the last message is that is more complicated day by day to combining the touristic increasing of our town, combining with our students. And in the future, I think that we need to work more and more on this aspect, because it is important for me to have a good balance between both aspects. And in the town of Bologna, this is more relevant, but also now in Cesena, in Rimini, because Rimini is a town with a lot of tourism, Ravenna also, and Forlì, we need to work together, because this is a problem that we have, and I'm really happy to have also mayor, younger one, than is really collaborative, and it's a great pleasure for me to have the responsibility to one university like the University of Bologna, because I think that we can also design new models to good balance between the different aspects in our town. Thank you very much.
Sorry. Just the last curiosity, it's more than a curiosity, we are so worried about that. I asked just the measure, one small question, you have few words to answer just because lunch break is so much important too, yeah, as you know. So the very small question I ask you to the four measure we have the honor to have here with us is about which is the vision, the idea that you have in the future of the cities for the universities. So how can you imagine that the university in the city of the future is located in terms of places, in terms of organization, in terms of, what about that? Few words, and then we close the round table. So we can start with Poitiers if you want. Otherwise we start with...
Oh, sorry.
Maybe we could just...
Sorry, I didn't see that you did.
No, it's okay. Okay. So, in Poitiers, actually, the university got a campus which is a bit at the out of the city, I mean near to the hospital, and other parts which is in the center of the city. So for me, it's also the same thing that we're trying to develop. I mean, the presidential places of the university is in the center of the city, and so I mean it's also a way to develop the place of the university and the place that we gave to the university, which is like geographically in the center of the city, as the same way as it's in the center of our politics.
Thank you so much. And what about Minarva from Turku?
Yes, in our city also the campuses are really in the city center, and it's amazing to see all the young people, the energy and the liveliness, what comes together into the city when the new students come along into the city in the beginning of September or in the beginning of autumn. But yeah, about the vision and the future, just few words. My vision of the future, of course, is because Finland is the happiest country in the world. Already, I'd say 8 years in a row. To create the city to be the most happiest city in the world. And I think that's where we need the universities and the young people, the young students to collaborate and co-create that most happiest city in the world together with us.
Thank you. And now it's time for Matteo Lepore.
In our case, we decided many years ago to create a multi-campus inside the metropolitan area and in the Emilia-Romagna region. So for the headquarters of the university are dislocated in many areas. I think it's a value to have the university in the medieval city center, we mentioned before. For us in the future, two are the priorities. Public transport, very important. We are building 23 kilometers of tram, a line on Metrobus for metropolitan area, and we need the train, the public train. I think it's important also for the university and all the network of the university, very important. The second is housing. We need a European fund dedicated to a new policy at European level for housing. Is a very important emergency for the urban scale, and also in our countries, in Italy especially. And I think we have to fight for this, because a city as Bologna with 7,000 students resident in the city needs a public policy for that. We know that the private sector is very interested in our cities because of the students, but we need a public policy for affordable housing for students. So about spaces and university and cities, I think these two are the priorities. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then to Enzo Lattuca, Measure of Cesena.
Yes, as I said, the first 30 years of the university presence in Cesena for us are just the beginning. So, ce n'est qu'un début. We will still have a long life to go together, a long way, and I think that university presence will transform the face of our city even more than it has in the past. We have a really small but beautiful campus. Our rector used to say that is the best campus.
Yes, sure. Everyone is the same, yeah.
But I think he doesn't die. And I hope that the entire city becomes a campus, and that the university campus hug even more our city.
Thank you so much. So thank you again. And let me close with just a sentence about the dialogue between universities and municipalities was really inspiring. And I'm sure that we can design for the future a shared horizon for the Coimbra Group that is able to project the Poitiers Declaration into a future of peace and prosperity for each citizen and for all the citizens as a whole. Thank you to be here with us. Thank you so much.